SubOptic 2019 kicked off today with the registration of more than 850 guests from all corners of the submarine telecoms industry. The main panels are set to begin tomorrow, but today didn't lack for participation in masterclasses, filling each room to capacity as visitors crowded to hear the lessons on a variety of subjects. Classes include principles of offshore oil and gas submarine telecommunications, open submarine networks, updates to transmission technology, advancements in marine installation and maintenance, wet plant design and qualification, and legal and regulatory developments.
So Brian with Sienna just had a master class on open network submarine cables. Can you tell us a little bit about your class and then where you see this future being in the next 2-3 years in the industry?
Yeah, sure. So it was split into two. I had my colleague Pascal Pesci from ASN. He talked about open cables, and then I talked about open networks. So we talked about more than just the cable itself. We got into topics like machine learning and artificial intelligence, big data, some of the more exciting topics that are coming into our industry.
Is artificial intelligence the new future? Is that where we're going to see this network go?
I would say more machine learning. Artificial intelligence has a meaning on its own, but yeah, definitely machine learning. I mean, we enable machine learning, networking, and it's time to use that same capability on the network itself.
Great. And what are you looking forward to most at the conference this week?
Most of the technology sessions, it's very important for us as a company, Sienna, to see where the industry is headed from a technology perspective, and that helps us develop our investment and roadmaps.
Very good. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Tony from Xterra just finished his master class on updates with transmission and technology. And do you want to tell us a little bit about the updates and what you discussed?
Hi, yes. I was lucky enough to have two other people working with me. One from Sumitomo talking about the fiber technology and how the losses have gone steadily down and how they've also increased the effective area of fibers. But what was interesting to hear about was the things that are going to happen in the future, in particular to support SDM, where we're going to see different factors driving the fiber. And we were similarly looking at how that will affect amplifiers, repeaters, and the DSP chips that tend to make up the whole system. And we're looking at all of those. We had a lot of interesting questions from the audience as well.
Did you have a full house?
We had pretty much a full house, and a few people who were quite happy to make comments at the end, so it was kind of interesting.
Good. And Tony, what are you looking forward to seeing at the conference this year?
Largely to seeing people, but also to hearing about a few of the bits of technology that I haven't heard about yet, and see how the things that we were talking about are developing.
Very good.
And hopefully to hear a little bit of discussion where people don't agree on things, and we had a bit of that, so it was fun.
Very good. Well, we appreciate your time today.
You're very welcome.
The SubOptic Association made its own contribution to the proceedings with a meeting of the Open Cables Working Group, led by Elizabeth Rivera Hartling of Facebook. The group discussed the necessary steps to take in plans to standardize all aspects of open cables.
So we just finished a open cable session with Elizabeth from Facebook, and we're really excited where this industry is going. And can you tell us a little bit about what you talked about and where we'll be in the next couple of years?
For sure. So we just had a really awesome session. Our room was actually overflowing to the point that people were standing on the walls and filling out into the hallways. The group consisted of 12 different contributors from 7 different companies. It was a phenomenal feat of industry collaboration. The group focused on all the key industry aspects of specifying open cables, characterizing open cables, defining them, kind of a whole start to finish of all the different considerations. And the biggest accomplishment of the group is that as a community, we've managed to converge on a lot of the industry ideas that have been discussed over the years. And the team has actually contributed to a 55-page, 16,000-word document that essentially summarizes everything that we've agreed on, concluded on, that in the absence of an ITU industry standard, we're actually able to provide a little bit of interim guidance to the industry so that open cables can be embraced and used and everybody can reap the benefits of them, and while we wait for the ITU to come to some kind of a conclusion on things. So really happy with the session and the results.
SubOptic also held a members meeting where the association's new executive committee was announced.
Hi, it's Andrea with STF Events, and we're at SubOptic 2019 with Eve and Joel, and we just had a great members meeting. Do you guys want to tell us what your plans are for this upcoming year and what you have going on?
Yeah, it was a very successful meeting. First, we we announced a new elected executive committee for Sub Optic, which will have the heavy work load for the next 3 years up to the next conference. And first, as usual, we will take the lesson from the conference after the conference in 2019 to build the 2022, which will be announced during the conference at the end. It's very exciting, isn't it? So I keep it secret for the time being. And we will also work about new key topics to be set up for the members, new working groups to be set up, and I hope that I'm sure that the key topics will be coming from this conference as well.
Now, Joel, you guys talked about diversity in the meeting. Tell me more about that in your industry.
Well, as every industry, it's a time of tremendous change, and the move toward diversity and inclusion is one that we want to be in the forefront of as the submarine cable industry. A lot of companies that are members feel strongly that this should be a priority for the association. That's why we created a working group, which is already very active. We're surveying the members to see where they stand so we know what we need to do to improve the performance of the industry in terms of including millennials and rejuvenating industry, and also women in technical careers is something that's very important to SubOptic.
Very good. So we'll see you guys around the conference this week, and we appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
thank you.
Very much. Thank you.
The day ended with the welcome reception, held in the exhibition hall, which officially opened this year's SubOptic conference.